The Epstein-Rothschild Connections. Of course, Rothschilds is behind Epstein. They're behind a lot of evil that's going on in this world. I've talked about the Rothschilds in the past to ad nauseam on my old channel. Talked about some history, some how they always play both sides in wars and stuff like that. But now, come to find out, they have ties to Epstein. So we're going to talk about that. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button. Share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. And hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. There you'll find a link to my Patreon. That's where I talk about things that I can't talk about here. There's also a link to my Instagram and my X account, so follow me there as well. All right, so let's get into this news. Now, this comes from the Liberty Daily, and they report that the latest batch of documents from the Justice Department dropped just days ago pulls back the curtain on Jeffrey Epstein's tangled web of influence, and I've been covering it since the drop. Among the revelations, a series of business ties and private exchanges with members of the Rothschild family, one of the world's most storied banking dynasties. These files, part of over 3 million pages released on January 30th, 2026, paint a picture of Epstein as more than a convicted sex offender. He operated as a connector for elites eyeing profits from global turmoil. I mean, of course, when profiting from global turmoil, the first name you think of course, is the Rothschilds. Of course, they're going to have some connections with Epstein for that. But take the 2015 contract between Epstein's Southern Trust Company and the Edmund de Rothschild Group. Signed on October 5th of that year, the deal handed Epstein's firm $25 million to handle, quote, risk analysis and the application and use of certain algorithms. So this is one way Epstein makes his money, is through these elites. Look at this, just handing over $25 million. It makes no application for use of certain what algorithms? What algorithms are we talking about here? Epstein, listed as president of the Virgin Islands-based Southern Trust, partnered with Irene de Rothschild, who represented the Swiss banking giant. On the surface, it reads like a standard financial arrangement, but given Epstein's history, questions arise about what risk really meant in his world. Was this just number crunching or something deeper involving data manipulation tied to his broader network? Because think about it. This is 2015. This is well after he was already convicted pedo. Think about that. And the Rothschilds is working with this dude. Wow. Red Pill USA, he tweeted out, the Epstein files reveal a $25 million contract between Epstein's Southern Trust Company and the Edmund de Rothschild Group back in 2015, officially for risk analysis and application and use of certain algorithms. It makes you wonder what the contract was really for, right? Right? Really? Some algorithm, some broad algorithm thing, right? That's what they said the money is for. Photos circulating online add another layer. One shows Lynn Forrester de Rothschild posing alongside Epstein and his accomplice Ghislaine Maxwell at what appears to be a high society event. The image from the early 2000s capture them in formal attire, drinks in hand, smiling for the camera. It's a stark reminder of how Epstein embedded himself in circles of wealth and power, even as allegations swirled around him. Then there's the correspondence about Ukraine. There we go. Ukraine, the one of the most corrupt countries on the planet here. In emails from 2014, shortly after Maidan protests ousted the pro-Russian government. Now, mind you, the pro-Russian government won by like 80%. They gave them the boot, even though people voted to be with Russia. But I digress. Epstein traded thoughts with a Rothschild contract. Quote, the coup in Ukraine should provide many opportunities, Epstein wrote. And we got a tweet from Megatron that said, Jeffrey Epstein and someone from the Rothschild family discussed the coup in Ukraine after Maidan in 2014. Now, this is during This is during Obama's term. Remember, we said this whole Ukraine stuff was going on way back then, when the color revolution that Obama allowed to happen. Epstein, the coup in Ukraine, should provide many opportunities. Many. Rothschild said, "I missed our conversations and hope you are doing well." Wow. "I'll be home tomorrow." The response expressed a desire to discuss Ukraine further, hinting a missed conversation. This exchange came amid the chaos of revolution, which many see as a Western-backed shift that set the stage for years of conflict. This is what I was alluding to. Like, this Ukraine stuff has been going on since way back then. They use Ukraine because of the corruption. It's been theories that servers and stuff like that out there in Ukraine contain a bunch of dirt and stuff like that too. But with billions poured into Ukraine since then, it's hard not to wonder if these opportunities involve carving up assets or influencing the new regime, right? And they make money from war. This is why they wanted this stuff happening. Epstein, ever the opportunist, seemed to view geopolitical upheaval as a marketplace. Of course they do. They make money from this. This is what I'm saying. They profit from war. This is why they warmonger, because they profit from it. Even more bizarre is an email where Ariane de Rothschild mentions Adolf Hitler. According to the message, look, we know that the Rothschilds played both sides of that war too, like they always do. According to the message, when Hitler was broke and living on the streets in Vienna before World War I, he stayed in a shelter bankrolled by, guess who? The Rothschilds and Epsteins. The plot thickens. The claim, tossed out casually, fuels long-standing rumors about hidden historical ties among powerful families. If true, it suggests a web of influence stretching back generations where even adversaries might share unexpected connections. Of course they do. We know that the Bushes, Prescott Bush, the father of our two presidents, Bush 1, Bush 2, Prescott Bush was the banker for both sides as well. We know this. This is what the powerful elites do. They always play both sides in wars. Skeptics dismissed it as folklore, but in the context of Epstein's files, it raises eyebrows about how much history gets rewritten by those at the top. Facts. AF Post sent an email between Ariana de Rothschild and Jeffrey Epstein, claims that when Hitler was destitute in Vienna, he lived in a shelter that was funded by the Rothschilds and the Epsteins. These disclosures fit a pattern. Epstein didn't just traffic in secrets, he traded on them to build alliances with the untouchable. The Rothschilds, with their vast holdings in banking, mining, and beyond, represent the pinnacle of global finance. This is why he's so powerful. This is why Epstein was so powerful. This is why I think he was either taken out or escorted out of that prison alive. One of the two. He was taken out, murdered, or he was escorted out. He's on some private island somewhere with a different face. One of the two. Because he's so powerful. He got so many of these powerful connections. And if any of this stuff wouldn't happen to come out at that time, a lot of heads would have rolled. A lot of people would have gotten in trouble. That's why they had to take him out. But pair that with Epstein's island escapades and his list of associates, from politicians to tech moguls, and a narrative emerge of an elite class operating above the law. Why did a family like the Rothschilds engage with someone like Epstein, even after his 2008 conviction? So this is 2015. He was already convicted. He's a convicted pedo, and they still having business dealings with this dude. The file don't spell it out, but the implications point to mutual benefits in a system where power protects power. As more documents trickle out, expect further scrutiny. You best believe I'm going to continue reporting all of this. I've been reporting on Epstein since, maybe 2015. But I've been reporting on him back when people thought it was just a conspiracy theory, when I was telling people about the Lolita Express and Epstein Island. But in a world where everyday Americans foot the bill for endless foreign entanglements, these revelations demand answers. If elites are profiting from coups and crises, who really calls the shots? The Epstein saga isn't over. It's just exposing how the game is played. Wow. But y'all let me know what y'all think about all this information and these Epstein connections with the elites and Rothschilds and stuff like that. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.